90 minutes, that's all the warning Indianapolis got. The doors were already open, the seats already filling for what should have been another sold-out night. Then with tip-off just an hour and a half away, the Indiana Fever announced Caitlin Clark wasn't going to play. No injury report the day before. No heads up for the fans who had already paid for tickets, parking, and babysitters. Just gone. The result was immediate. What had been a packed house quickly became half-empty by tip-off. That's the part no press release can ever cover. And to be clear, this isn't what Clark wants. She said it plainly, she wants to play every game on the schedule, all 44 of them. The resolve has never been in question. The chaos is coming from the other side. This isn't about one missed game, it's about a pattern. And to understand why it keeps happening, you need to know exactly what she's worth to the people running this team. Just a few years ago, the Fever were barely on the national radar. Now, according to Sportico, they're valued at around $560 million. Before Caitlin Clark arrived in Indianapolis, that number was under $100 million. That's a jump of more than 500% from a single draft pick. It's easy to see why. She shattered the league's single-season attendance record by more than 90,000 fans. Reports claim she's driven close to half of the entire WNBA's broadcast value on her own. Ticket sales multiplied by the dozens compared to before she arrived. Every dollar of that $500 million has her fingerprints on it. So when the organization can't deliver a simple, timely injury report for the player who did all of that, it's fair to ask what that kind of money is actually supposed to buy. The pattern is obvious. On May 20th, Clark was listed as fine. Then, roughly 90 minutes before tip against the Portland Fire, she was scratched with a back issue that never made it onto the report the night before. The same thing happened again on May 22nd. That's why the WNBA stepped in. The league handed the Fever a formal warning for failing to follow its own rules. Those rules are simple. Players must be on the injury report by 5:00 p.m. the day before, with updates made through the real-time system designed to prevent exactly this. Indiana didn't use it in time. Coach Stephanie White explained it as stiffness and soreness that popped up that morning and a precautionary call. That may be true, but the warning is very real and it lands squarely on the people who answer to this. When asked who made the final call, Clark didn't point to coaches or trainers. She said it came down to her read on her body and her confidence in it. That was honest. She spoke openly about the difficulty of coming back from a run of soft tissue issues and the mental battle of trusting her legs again when you're one of the best players alive. Anyone who watched last season knows why. Those issues cost her most of the year and forced her to watch the entire playoff run from the bench. That was new territory for a player who never missed a game in college and suited up every night as a rookie. Even with all of that, her stance hasn't changed. She wants to play every night, all 44 games. Still, rumors have continued to swirl suggesting the Fever might be quietly load managing her all season. Coach White has flatly denied any such plan exists. If that's the case, it leaves a glaring question. If she wants to play and there's no load management plan, then who keeps making the call to scratch her just 90 minutes before tip? That question becomes impossible to ignore looking at what's next. Right now they're on the road at Chase Center, then turn around for a back-to-back just days later. That Saturday is on national television for the entire country to see. This is exactly when a front office with a real plan would be communicating it. Instead, all fans have gotten is silence, and it's Clark who's left to absorb whatever comes next. It's no surprise that question is being asked far beyond Indiana. Which brings everything back to Saturday night. National television, CBS, the Indiana Fever at the Portland Fire, with the whole country watching the player who carries this league. Caitlin Clark will be on that floor or she won't. Neither way, the decision will have run through the same organization that just got warned by its own league and questioned by half the national media. Herb Simon has about 24 hours. 24 hours to do the one thing a Hall of Famer who helped build the women's game should know better than anyone. Protect the player who made his franchise worth $500 million. The pressure is not just coming from fans, it is coming from partners, from broadcasters, from the league office itself. The WNBA is in a growth phase unlike anything it has seen before. Viewership is up, sponsorship deals are larger, and the cultural relevance is at an all-time high. This moment is too important to mishandle. If the league's biggest star is perceived as being mismanaged, it casts a shadow over the entire product. It suggests that the infrastructure is not ready to support the talent. It suggests that the business side is lagging behind the athletic side. That is a narrative the commissioner does not want, and it is a narrative Herb Simon should be desperate to avoid. He built his reputation on being a steward of the game, someone who understands the long-term health of the sport. This situation tests that reputation. It tests whether the care he showed for the NBA translates to the WNBA or if there is a disparity in how the assets are valued. The $78 million facility is a statement of intent, but statements do not heal soft tissue injuries. Protocols do. Communication does. Transparency does. The fans are not asking for miracles, they are asking for honesty. If Clark is injured, say she is injured. If she is being rested, say she is being rested. The ambiguity is what kills the trust. So I'll leave you with the question Indianapolis is really asking tonight. What would protecting Caitlin Clark actually look like? A real plan, a straight answer, a front office that treats her like the asset they keep saying she is. And is anyone in Herb Simon's building going to show us one before the cameras come on Saturday night? Tell me what you think down below because the clock is already running. This is not just about one game or one injury report. It is about the future of the franchise and the league. If the Fever cannot manage their biggest star, how can they manage a championship run? How can they manage the expectations of a city that is finally believing in women's basketball again? The momentum is here, the interest is here, the money is here, but momentum is fragile. It can be lost in a single night of mismanagement. The fans who showed up on May 22nd showed up for Clark. They showed up for the future. They showed up for the belief that things are different now. If that belief is shattered by administrative incompetence, it will take years to rebuild. You cannot ask fans to believe in the product when the product is hidden behind a curtain of secrecy. Transparency is the only way forward. The league warning was a wake-up call. It was a signal that the patience of the office is wearing thin. The next step is not a warning, it is consequences. And those consequences could be financial or they could be reputational. For a man like Herb Simon, reputation is everything. He has spent 40 years building it. He cannot afford to lose it over injury report protocols. It seems trivial on paper, but in the court of public opinion, it is monumental. It represents respect. Respect for the player, respect for the fans, respect for the game. When that respect is missing, the foundation crumbles. The $560 million valuation is a number on a page. The trust of the fans is the reality behind the number. Without the trust, the number means nothing. Investors know this, owners know this, but sometimes in the heat of the moment, it gets forgotten. The focus shifts to winning, to health, to logistics, and the human element gets lost. The fan standing in line for tickets is human. The player wanting to compete is human. The organization needs to remember that. This Saturday night is a test. It is a test of communication, of leadership, and of priorities. Will Clark play? Will she sit? The answer matters less than the process used to reach it. If the process is clear, the fans will accept the outcome. If the process is murky, the outcome will be rejected. That is the lesson here. Process over outcome, transparency over secrecy, protection over convenience. The league is watching. The city is watching. The history of the women's game is watching. This moment will be recorded. It will be talked about. It will be analyzed. Let's hope it is analyzed as a turning point where the organization got it right, not as another example of where it went wrong. The ball is in Herb Simon's court. He has the power to fix this. He has the resources. He has the experience. All he needs is the will to put the player first, the fans second, and the ego last. That is the formula for success in sports. It has worked for decades. It works in the NBA. It should work in the WNBA, especially when the stakes are this high, especially when the eyes are this wide. The 90-minute warning was a mistake. Let's not make it a habit. Let's not make it a legacy. The future of the Fever depends on what happens next. And the future of the league depends on how the Fever handle it. So watch closely this Saturday. Watch the reports. Watch the timing. Watch the communication, because that is where the truth will be. Not in the box score, but in the briefing. Not in the highlights, but in the honesty. That is what we are waiting for. That is what the game deserves. And that is what Caitlin Clark deserves. To play in an organization that respects her enough to tell the truth early and often. Anything less is a failure. And after 500% growth, failure is not an option. The clock is running. The seats are waiting. The question remains, will they answer it?